Silver 101, Module 1, Identification between Sterling and Silverplate. So what is it? One of the biggest challenges my clients have is trying to figure out whether their silver items are sterling silver or silverplate. Silver, sterling, silverplate, coin silver, plated, Britannia silver, A1, EPNS, Sheffield plate. It's pretty overwhelming. What do these names mean? How are they all different? The good news is that after completing this unit, you'll be empowered to sort through your silver items and easily discern which are silverplate and which are sterling silver. Sterling is used to describe a metal alloy that contains 92.5% silver, but the other metals in the remaining 7.5% of the alloy can vary. Usually they're a mixture of copper, nickel, or zinc. Most American sterling is called 925, or 925 out of 1,000 parts silver. This proportion of silver to other metals is what the term sterling really refers to. Silver-plated items are not silver or made of an alloy that contains any silver. They're made of an alloy mixture usually containing copper, nickel, and other base metals, and then electroplated with a thin coating of silver, which creates the appearance mimicking solid sterling. EPNS, A1, plated, Community Plate, Oneida, William Rogers, Rogers Brothers, and Sheffield Plate are all common markings for silver-plated items. The EPNS stands for electroplated nickel-silver, and A1 indicates it was plated one time. While silver-plated items can be beautiful, practical, and useful, they unfortunately sell quite poorly relative to sterling items. So for your purposes, you'll likely want to pay the most attention to your sterling silver items. So how do you tell what it is? Appearance and color of tarnish, surface texture, and marks are 3 ways. Tarnish. The first thing to notice is the color of the tarnish. Most of the silver items I encounter are tarnished, but if your items have been recently polished, you won't be able to use this trick. What color is the tarnish? Is it a flat matte gray? Or is it shiny and reflective with beautiful tones of fuchsia, green, and gold when you turn the item in the light? I'm afraid the pieces with the beautiful tarnish are often silver-plated, and the colors you see are a result of the other base metals. These are some examples of what tarnished silverplate looks like. The dull gray pieces are usually sterling, although it's extremely important to never rely on only this test alone. I've encountered sterling pieces that have been stored in newspaper or another sort of unsuitable material for many years that have started to develop a chemical reaction that does resemble the tarnish pattern of silverplate. This trick is simply a convenience to help you sort through the huge piles of silver items as a first step, and it's important to follow up with looking carefully at the marks on each piece afterwards. Sometimes sterling tea and coffee services have a silver-plated tray, while all the other pieces are sterling, so make sure to examine each one. I find that Mexican sterling tea services often have an accompanying sterling tray, while sterling tea services from America and other countries frequently have a silver-plated tray. Surface texture. The next thing to do is rub your thumb over the surface of the item. Is it slick and cold, or does it drag on your skin and leave the feeling of a buttery residue behind? The cold and slick items are most often silverplate, and the ones with the creamy surface texture are most often sterling. It's understandable to assume that a piece that feels very heavy is likely to be sterling, but actually that weight means it's more likely to be silver-plated. While the overall size and thickness of an item impacts its weight, the metals used in typical alloys for silver-plated items are often quite heavy. Marks. The most definitive way to determine whether an item is sterling silver or silverplate is by knowing how to read and understand the marks. Each country has a different system for marking silver items, which I will explain in detail in the following units, but I'll cover the basics now so you can be prepared. The next step in your inspection is to look for markings. I love reading silver hallmarks because it feels like knowing a secret code. While they look very confusing and intimidating, once you know the key to the code, it's really exciting and empowering to be able to turn over a piece and be able to read its story. Marks can be hiding in lots of places. Flatware is usually marked on the back of the handle, bowls and trays are often marked on the underside of the base, and dresser sets, such as silver brushes and mirrors, often have markings hidden within the design somewhere near the base of the handle. This is an example of a flatware marking, and this is an example of where a tray is marked. If the item says sterling somewhere on it, there's a very good chance you have a sterling silver piece. I've encountered fakes that were spuriously marked before, but it's rare. If the item says plated, plate, EPNS, or A1, it's silver-plated. If the item says nothing at all, it may be silver-plated, but it may also be from a country with different marking conventions. In the next units, I'm going to start with American and Mexican silver, which is what is most commonly found here in the United States, and then move back on to British silver, which is a bit tricky, but really fun when you know the system. I'll follow up with French, German, and Russian silver, which are the other main pieces I found in my appraisal work in the United States.